Washington, Reuters. The U.S. Congress was racing on Thursday to approve a massive spending bill and send it to President Donald Trump for enactment before a midnight Friday government shutdown deadline. In a move that would significantly boost defense and non-military funding through September 30. The House of Representatives plan to debate and vote on the measure on Thursday. If it clears the chamber, despite opposition from some conservatives protesting the measure Euro trademark's crushing deficit spending, it is likely to have an easier time passing the Senate. When coupled with recently enacted tax cuts, the bill is projected to result in budget deficits hitting more than $800 billion for this year. That could create political difficulties for Republicans running for re-election in November if the conservative wing of the party lashes out at this legislation. Democrats complained that in the rush to pass the bill, few if any lawmakers had time to read through the 232-page tome to see what it actually contained. For Trump, there are potential difficulties as well beyond the deficit spending. Trump, in a post on Twitter late on Wednesday, said the funding bill will allow him to start building a wall on the southwest U.S. border with Mexico. Euro get $1.6 billion to start wall on southern border, rest will be forthcoming Euro, he wrote. But Democrats argued the added funds will help build or restore a range of other barriers, including existing fencing, and would not pay for a concrete edifice that Trump originally said would be financed by Mexico, a claim the Mexican government has denounced. Passage of the spending bill would end several months of intense bickering between Republicans and Democrats over spending priorities, which led to 2 short government shutdowns earlier this year. It also would deliver a further setback to Trump, whose proposals for severe cuts to the Environmental Protection Agency, State Department, and other federal agencies would be scaled back. The bill, which also excludes some of Trump Euro trademark's immigration-related funding requests, was unveiled late on Wednesday. Senate No. 2 Republican John Cornyn said his chamber could take it up on Thursday night if no senator acts to slow it. On Wednesday, the White House signaled that Trump would sign the legislation if Congress sends it to him. Conservative opposition. House Republicans Euro Trademark Conservative Freedom Caucus on Thursday said its roughly 3 dozen members would not back the bill because it massively increases spending while not defunding Obamacare, Planned Parenthood, and so-called sanctuary cities. Euro trademark going to see lots of conservatives vote against it. U.S. Representative Jim Jordan, a caucus member, told Fox News in an interview. Trump at one point wanted $25 billion included in the bill to fully fund construction of his proposed U.S. Mexico border wall, but negotiations with Democrats to make that happen fell apart early this week, according to congressional aides. Instead, Trump would get nearly $1.6 billion more for border security this year. More Border Patrol agents could be hired, but there would not be the significant increase in immigration agents working the interior of the country. The Department of Homeland Security had sought a big buildup in those officers to boost deportation of undocumented immigrants. Besides the $80 billion boost in military spending, the largest in 15 years, the measure includes new money for infrastructure improvements and combating Russian election hacking. In response to public anger and frustration over mass shootings, including a February 14 massacre at a Florida high school, the bill contains modest improvements to background checks for gun sales and grants to help schools prevent gun violence. These provisions were far short of steps many Democrats and gun control groups say are needed to stop the shooting deaths of school children, concertgoers, church worshippers, and others. A so-called grain glitch included in a tax law enacted at the end of last year would be repaired by the legislation. Big grain buyers, such as Anheuser-Busch InBev NV, Cargill Inc., and the ethanol industry, have complained the glitch gives lucrative tax breaks to grain producers for selling to farming cooperatives, and a lesser break for selling to agriculture companies. The bill will provide a $307 million increase above the administration Euro trademark's request for counterintelligence efforts to fight Russian cyber attacks in 2018, when U.S. midterm congressional elections will be held, and $380 million for grants to states to secure their election systems. Other components of the bill include $10 billion in infrastructure spending for highways, airports, railroads, and broadband, and a $2.8 billion increase to fund treatment and prevention of opioid addiction and research into the subject.